Yeah.
Got
All
it.
right, here we go. It's the three of us, which is cute.
Yeah.
We had some fun
Everybody
last
welcome
week.
Chris. Yay, Chris.
Hey guys.
Hello. I'm gonna keep you pinned, Chris, on the recording if that's okay with you. I think it's kind of cute. If someone else joins, I'll take you off so that you don't. So it's the squares don't get too small, but otherwise, okay. So it's a small group today. Rocky's in Las Vegas. He's gonna get married again to the same person in just I don't know, like 3 hours from now or something. So that's exciting.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lead some arm exercises, and we're gonna warm up because we don't want to just throw our bodies into it. And I forgot I should play some music. I haven't been very good about playing. I feel like I hate playing music that we always dance to because we're already listening to it so much. And then I just feel like I pick out the weirdest stuff. Like,
isn't that kind of the charm? There's just weird, fun, unexpected things.
well, again, for you and me. For you and me, perhaps. That's why I love working out with you, Chris.
I'm used to whatever you want to throw out there. Yeah, I gotcha.
Just in general.
Going ever.
Yes. And that's what happens when you show up every week. We're not just working out, we're building community. Community and care. So we're just kind of rotating them in our sockets. They're already gonna getting tired from this deltoid work, but that's good because we want to pump some blood into those muscles because they're about to work a lot harder. Yes. And Rocky's gonna be doing some modifications that don't include weights, so it's gonna be pretty outside the box, and it might be for longer than what we're doing it for. Just keep an eye on him. Let's make some big circles now. Lots of space. Yes.
Yes.
We got it. Beautiful. Like, let's reach it up. So you're just gonna kind of like climb up that ladder one side at a time. I've been having lots of like cool things happening lately. Like things are like, are we in a dream? Is this even real? You know, like, are we in someone else's brain? Are we Truman showing? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like a simulation.
Yeah. For instance, this doesn't sound as magical as it is, but we have a shoot coming up where we wanted a stationary bike, and I was complaining. We're going to kick it back because we're going to get some squats in there too. I was complaining to Jessica because Jeremy hadn't picked it up, and I was trying to make a prop that was going to take hours instead, and I was like, if he would just go pick it up, even though it's 3 hours away, it's going to take me 8 hours to make this stupid prop. And then my neighbor came over, hear me when I say she did not hear our conversation, and said, hey, do y'all want this bike?
What?
Yes. Yes. And we were like, oh shit, were you just listening? She was like, no, it's just been in my it's been in my office and it's just taking up space. And it's like the perfect, isn't that crazy?
That is awesome.
It's so weird. We're gonna make some room in those hips. So that's bizarre. I'm also trying to get some funding, like some sponsors for our movie. And my friend from high school, who I haven't talked to since high school because he was like a year older and we weren't friends after he moved to Austin, even though I came a year later and switched. But he just randomly reached out. His wife also has MS, and he's the COO of Amy's Ice Cream.
Wow.
Right. So, because he's worked there since he moved to Austin. So he's been there 20 years. So I don't know that it'll work out, but not a bad time for someone to check in when I need a sponsor, right? Right.
Yeah.
Amy's Ice Cream would be a great thing to join up with. It's so local and kind of quirky, you know? Pretty good. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Amy's is cool.
yeah, they're great. I mean, and there's also so many ice cream places now. I'm gonna go ahead. It's easier on the floor or on a bed, but I want us to kind of grind. What I want is this rotation with some grinding into the floor. So, and it also feels like a little bit of a hand massage. So just gonna kind of grind it out. So yeah, I mean, he was like just kind of asking me about my workout stuff, and then I was like, "Hey." Yeah, and he's not taking it like he didn't answer for a while and switch arms, so I was a little worried that maybe I messed up our reunion, but he seems fine about it. So good. Yeah. It's really weird to 20 years ago we were all different people.
Yes.
Like such different people. So
Yeah.
I can't even imagine who he thinks I am, you know?
Yes, that's a very fair point.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go I want us to do some lunges back and forth just to get those juices really going. So from here, we're just going to move it back and then into a side lunge, move it back, and the other one.
Gotcha.
I think that he's a lot more proper than I realized.
So, like conservative or?
Yeah, or has really good manners. He's not crude like I am. He was like, "Do you mind if I ask you a personal question?" And I was like, "Of course, I'm an open book." And he was like, "What drugs are you on for your MS?" And I was like, "That is really not that.
Not that really that personal."
Yeah. And then I told him that, because his wife is struggling with it too, but my energy has really been better. And he was curious about that. And I admitted that, I'm on Adderall as well sometimes. And that's controversial, but I've been prescribed since I was 13. So it's not an easy thing just to not do. And he was like, "And that's done. We're going to walk it up." He was like, "You really are an open book." I was like, that is again, not a big deal.
Not a big deal. No, your world.
Yeah. So then I answered back just as I was in a hurry. I said, "Oh yeah, before I go on any Tinder date, I tell them about my herpes." And I just left it like that. And I could just tell it was just he's not going to say anything to that, He's just so uncomfortable. Yeah. Poor baby.
Oh man.
Yeah. I just think we live in very different worlds now,
Yeah.
So we're going to do one arm at a time, or you can do two, Chris, I'm going to go slower, because mine are a little heavy, but take your time. Yeah.
You do a stand-up routine, Erica, while doing workouts. You could deliver one-liners like that.
That is kind of how splash dance is, honestly. Because everyone's staring at me and they're not behind me.
Right.
And also the lyrics, it's the dance moves are a lot easier because they're in the water, so they're slower. So I tend to like make jokes about what the songs are about or my personal life. The only problem with that is if I, like last Wednesday, I have therapy on Tuesdays. So if I get enough stuff out, then my class isn't as funny.
Oh, interesting.
Like I was like talking about, like I was thinking more about the people in my group on Wednesday. So I was like, let me tell you, if you have a baby, you should get a babysitter to take care of them sometimes and not suffer through a month with no sleep. It was just like not funny, just things that are in my brain that have nothing to do with like anything that they are experiencing in the pool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
How are we doing, Rocky? How hard is it getting?
Oh, it's pretty difficult. I'm doing these like pulse things, but I didn't know how long we were going, so I could.
I know. I want to keep it going. I'm trying to go kind of till exhaustion over here.
I was wondering because we weren't counting. We're just doing them.
Yeah, we're just gonna until we're like, ooh. I mean, we don't want to be so exhausted we can't do 3 rounds, but
yeah, exactly. So 2 exhaustions seems a little dicey on round 1 to me.
So let's try it for like, I don't know, 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Yes, beautiful job. I was showing off because I haven't been doing a lot of biceps, y'all, but check this out.
Guns.
Look at that.
Can't have those guns here.
Those little froggies. That's not from today. I haven't been doing many biceps all year. Really, not enough. So what I really like about arms is I think it kind of takes a long time to lose strength from your arms when you've been building for a minute, you know? You lose strength, like muscle, at half the rate that like of the time passes. Does that make sense? Let's go on up. Like if you're sedentary for 6 months, you don't have 6 months you have to make up. You have 3 months. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's pretty forgiving. I'm definitely gonna hit that exhaustion faster here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whew. Listen to your body. Nice. Place it down. Nice. Give yourself a little shoulder back if you're ready for it. I feel that all the way up in my face. Got a huge flush from that. That felt great. So you're gonna do your squats now. For the first round, I would just say don't use any weights because we still haven't warmed up our lower body. But you can add some goblet squats or on your shoulders with the lighter weights at the next round. You ready? And sit down. And we're not gonna do this till exhaustion. We're just gonna do 10. It's our active recovery. Or our Tabata. It's more work than an active recovery, I suppose, but beautiful. So since my arms on those 2 moves, we moved they're already pretty tired from those. Instead of repeating the first 2 immediately, let's do the other primary muscle groups, okay? So we're gonna go into the rows and the triceps this time. So I'm gonna do it just bent over and row it up. Nice flat back.
the savings and loan. We're speaking loudly and we're clearly on a megaphone. There's a red can, there's a blue can, there's a bright white can. There's a red can, there's a blue can, there's a bright white can. So take your left arm and twist it in your right hand. You can see that you're surrounded, so just turn yourself in. We ain't asking again. We brought a lot of patience, but it's all wearing thin. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
All right.
30, 35, 40,
I'm gonna stop it there.
15, 20,
How'd that feel? Pretty good?
Oh, good. Yeah, that's
pretty
good
good.
in the mid back.
Awesome. Whew. Okay, so since we're doing the exhaustion thing, I guess we're kind of basing it on me.
Whenever
But-
you're exhausted, Erica.
Yeah. You can always continue or shorten it whenever you're ready. But if you're using one weight for triceps, then use your less, I hate to say weaker side, but you're gonna use your less dominant side. There we go. That way they match, okay? And then Chris, again, if you're using that lower weight,
Yeah.
you can extend it
Wow. Okay.
to the back, or you can do the tricep dips on the floor, whichever one feels better on your elbow.
time's running out. Your chances
All right. Six,
Time's
7,
running out.
8.
There's a red
9.
can, there's a blue can, there's a bright white can.
I think 12 is my top on that side. If you're done, then you can just go ahead and get some water or whatever you need to do.
So take your left arm, twist it in your right hand. There's a red can, there's a blue can, there's a bright white can. So take your left arm and twist it in your right hand.
Nice.
So take your left arm and twist it in your right hand.
All right. Go ahead and move those arms around.
20, 25, 30, 35, 45, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 45, 10, 15, 20, 25,
And unless you're,
35, 40, 45, 50, all that.
I don't know,
Riding the bus.
a professional bodybuilder, I like to stretch between things.
15, 20,
I don't know, swimsuit models, as I've told you before, will tell you that stretching kind of makes you less like cut looking or something. I can't imagine why that would be true. I just think that's like a weird story.
Yeah. What's that about?
I don't know. I mean, you're elongating, you know,
Yeah. You're.
so I guess it's possible. I don't know. People do things that work for them, and then they just believe it's like the
Yeah, that
word.
works for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not trying to be a swimsuit model, are you?
No.
Okay.
have no
I
plans.
am.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
then,
Rocky
yeah.
already is, obviously.
right? I mean, we all could be, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not being paid to do it or anything.
I think that we're all valuing more of our, of being a functional
That's right.
fit person, right? Okay.
Yeah,
so I'm
that's
going to go
correct.
ahead and grab one weight for me for that goblet squat. If you have lighter weights, you can put them on your shoulders or simply hold them at your waist, whatever feels safe for you. Just remember, when you're adding weight, it's even more important to use those glutes when you're standing up. So here, of course, you're feeling it in your quads, but you're going to squeeze that ass to bring it up. Go ahead.
Speaking of squeeze, isn't that the name of the band we're listening to?
You would know.
I
Is
think
that
it
what?
is. Yeah, I think it is.
Nice. Squeeze.
Squeeze.
I think that's true.
I actually can't really hear the music very loud, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I can focus better sometimes.
I'll check.
All right. So that's just one round, y'all.
Ooh,
Ooh.
all right.
How much time,
Wow.
Rocky, do you want to have to lead?
Cool down. Stretching.
Oh, just last 10 minutes of stretch.
Mm. Cool. All right. Well, let's see what we can do. Chris, do you have a dinner date or anything today?
No, I'm good. I actually had some dinner early, so I don't have to rush off to that.
All right, cool. All right, let's do this.
Right.
Also, really think about like keeping your shoulders and your core stable, you know? That's one thing that happens really easily when you're trying to hit exhaustion or just towards the end of your set. People will start losing the integrity of the rest of their body, and then that's when you hurt yourself. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I can never say his name right. He actually believes in the cheat, not always, but his encyclopedia of bodybuilding. That's like one form that people create gains is the cheat. But again, those are.
What does that involve?
It's kind of like when that primary muscle that you're working out gets tired, and so you kind of like force it up, but you might have to give a little. And to me, that's in dangerous territory.
Yeah.
But it is a technique that has been used by Arnold himself.
I mean, he did win a lot of bodybuilding contests.
He did.
Now he takes on vaccine misinformation online and writes really passionate Facebook posts about how we're
No, I did not know that. I mean, I know he's conservative and.
No. I mean, he's good. He takes on people who are writing
In a good way.
Oh, really? That's so great. Oh,
really
good.
The governor wants you to vaccinate.
Yeah, no, he's done videos and posts like talking
cool.
about how you shouldn't believe misinformation.
Because he is a Republican, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, that's why.
So I didn't know which direction that would be.
Yes. I think he's hoping that people will listen to him because I believe him over other people.
That's great. Are y'all noticing one arm? Is one of your arms more tired than the other?
Yes. Lefty over here.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, the left one. Okay, I really want to come back. My Amy, disappear for a second. I have to fix my screen. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Jump right there for a second.
Well, I'm gonna wait for you. You're not getting out of these overheads.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's great. Arms. That's my one dream body part that I want to be stronger.
Yeah, I know. There's such a glamour muscle.
Yeah, aesthetics.
But they're also important, you know.
Okay. Back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, guys. It just got wavy on the screen. Sometimes I have to just unplug it and plug it back in.
So actually, because this is our class, and again, I don't have to post this, but I thought I would something about arm strength that I noticed when I was mostly personally training with people with a lot of trans women is that once they started their testosterone blockers, they really lost their ability to it wasn't like their muscle density went down, but it was like their arms just weren't as strong. It was almost like, it seemed like almost like a, you know how we have different kinds of muscle, like fast twitch and slow twitch muscles, and how they articulate differently and serve us like for long distance versus short distance, and how some people have more fast twitch and some people have more slow twitch. That's why they're better at certain things. It was almost like that. I couldn't understand it because it was really like a really quick step for me anyway.
Interesting.
Change. Yeah. And again, you know, I haven't been doing this forever. It was like probably like 3 clients I had at one time, but it just seemed to like be really consistent. So isn't that crazy?
This is very interesting.
Do you think that could have just been wrong? Like that was just my experience?
Like I hear a lot of people discuss that they lose their strength or functionality of certain muscle groups. But I don't know if I've heard a reason why.
No.
You gotta think it's just an estrogen thing.
Yeah.
Well, people talk a lot about losing that, just like that extra you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like talking about the difference of like someone being able to do 10 push-ups at one point and then the next like easily in a row, and then after that actually having a difficulty like being in like a bird dog position.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is significant.
It's pretty significant. But I wonder if it's also just about retraining, maybe. You know?
Yeah, different kind of strong, maybe.
Yeah. Different kind of conditioning, or maybe there's just like a transition period that your brain is like connecting differently. I don't know. Anyway, I don't really have anyone else to talk to about that because pretty sensitive information. Cool. Y'all ready for Rose?
Oh, Rose, yes.
Yes.
Got it.
All right. And go ahead.
And this is probably the most significant difference in my strength between doses, if I have a change in my dose, or but I definitely noticed that like my upper body is stronger now.
Tell me you got home okay. Tell me you got
yeah.
Tell me that you got your bed. Tell me that you got your meds.
There's just so many factors with muscles. All right, I move on to triceps. Like, a lot of it has to do with what you did, you know, absent of like transitioning, like when you were younger, you know, like the kinds of exercise that you might have done as a kid can really affect what muscles are, you know, easily developed when you're an adult.
It's good to hear because I just, you know, sort of my own anecdotes always thought that, but it seemed kind of funny to think that, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. At least that's what they taught us in school.
Yeah.
I didn't personally do the research for that, but and switch. But I think it makes sense for me because my deltoids are the strongest part of my arms, and I was in ballet for so many years, and that's like pretty much all you're doing is holding your arms up when you're at the level I was at, which wasn't very high, but I did it for so long. Ooh, yes, you got it. All right. Back to the squats. Yeah.
You pissed?
Pass my shotgun.
Pray you didn't, ain't no one you did.
Hope you wiped up all the telltale guts and blood.
Snuggle up in your
Awesome.
Holding back a spot up kitty.
I hit up your
squats next, or are we at the end?
Well, we have if we go the full hour, we have 12 minutes. So I guess let's do a plank.
All right,
Let's do a plank.
let's do it.
All right. Let's do it. Wait, give me 2 seconds. I left my phone on the charger, and I want to time us. And we're gonna.
I have a timer too.
Oh yeah, should just ask Rocky.
Well, I'm gonna put it on the timer, and we're gonna go until we can't, but do it safely.
Nice.
All right.
I'm guessing with my arms as tired, I probably won't make it much more than a minute, maybe a minute and a half. We'll see.
Okay.
And starting the timer now. Shit. Try to keep your shoulders down and back, your spine aligned. Think about your shoulders, your ears lining up with your shoulders, your hips, ankles. Squeezing that belly button. If you need a larger platform, spread those legs. I think I ate too much pork today, y'all. I went to my taco place and was just gonna get no chato with espresso, and then literally ordered a pound of pork instead. Weirdly, yeah.
Weirdly, huh?
Yeah, I was like, instead of I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just go with a pound of pork. It was El Pastor, but it was like, you know, instead of them having to make the tacos. Because I really like getting like the whole chicken. I didn't really think about how I was just getting like a bunch of taco fillings. But, all right, that's at 1:15. I'm still going, but not for much longer. I think I'm gonna hit it right at 1:30. I'll keep it going for anyone that wants to keep going. That's 1:30.
Oh my God.
Let me know when you're done.
That was all good.
You're all good? 1:40. I can't see Rocky.
I'm done.
Are you still going, babe? You're done.
I'm
150.
That's what I was doing. I was doing all child's pose there, man.
I just can't see you because I don't know, my computer went dim. Beautiful. Well, great. Now Rocky can lead us out.
Good stage.
I'm going to go ahead and pin you, Rocky, so I can see you. I want to follow along. Here we go.
You can see that I'm in a modified child's pose. Hands and knees, hips to the seats, big toes together, forearms down, palms up. So we're gonna rock forward and back in this position. Be careful with the knees, take them wider if you need to. And begin to rock in a circle, so you're kind of tracing a circle with your heart on the ground. Chin to chest. And go in the opposite direction, so clockwise or counterclockwise. You'll feel the inside of your hip stretch out as you lean towards the right or the left. You'll feel the right inside hip stretch. As you lean towards the right, the left will come into stretch. Reverse position a few more times, chin to chest. Now, we're going to take the back or the palms of our hand, and we're going to cup around the back of our head. So it's almost like we're about to roll over, like we're going to tumble. I don't know how long it's been since you've done a tumble, but I'm putting my head down in the back of my head, base of my neck. I'm almost kind of stretching the back of my neck against the mat, almost like I want to roll over. And I'm pushing my hips, pushing my feet, my hips, my glutes towards the sky, and rounding the back. So you're setting up as if you're about to tumble forward. And then as you do this, you can flip your toes under, and when you roll your head onto the mat, you can lift off the ground. So it looks like this. It's almost like you're bringing the back of your leg into stretch. So your forearms are on the ground, making one base. The back of your head is in your hands, and the head, forehead goes to the ground. Kick the hips back, straighten the legs, and now you have a stretch on your calves and the back of your legs. You sit back up and you go to the original position of rotating in child's pose modified. So we're going back and forth between this back leg stretch, hip stretch. And when you straighten those legs out, you can either bend one and drop the heel on the other or whatever to kind of get better stretch in those back of the legs. And then once you've done a few of those, maybe 3 or 4, I want you to roll out into a leg prone position or with your face down. Back your the other goes out to the side. Forehead on the top of your hands. And then you slowly kind of walk your feet back. So I'm using my toes and I'm kind of scraping my toes back so I can lengthen my legs away from my spine, away from my hips. So I'm doing that, but I'm keeping my hands in one position, shoulder blades pulled down. I'm giving myself a little bit of traction throughout the midsection, and then breathing into my rib cage as I kind of flatten the front of my body into the ground and melt into the ground. Relax here for a moment. Lower back can be in stretch. You can stretch the toes out behind you. And from here, you're going to wiggle kind of left to right with the hips. Relax your face and separate the teeth. Still clenching of the jaw. Relax your face. Wiggle the hip while you're in this gentle kind of traction in the upper and lower body. You can let out a sigh that sounds like ah.
My butt side. My butt side. I had a fart at the same time. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's released from the butt. Yeah. We're going to lift up through the elbows again. So we're doing a Sphinx pose. It's kind of like a back bend. You don't have to hide with this. Just put your elbows to your side, palms face down, wide, fingertips across there, fanned out on the earth. Then kind of army pull or army drag your elbows down towards your hips. Feel the low back come into a little bit of a pull, and reach your heart forward and chin to the sky. This will stretch a little bit of the front of the body, maybe your hip flexors, front of the hips. Some of your low back and the back will be feeling a little compressed between the muscles and the hips. And then you look gently over your left shoulder and gently over your right shoulder. Really reach those toes away from your hips and look over your left and right shoulder. Keep those hips on the ground though. Don't lift one hip as you're looking over one side. You might need some adjustments, some pops and cracks. Go back to center, drop your nose down to the mat, pull the elbows down towards the hips, elongate the lower back and the spine, drop your shoulders down your back, reach the top of your head towards your fingertips. Now I want you to go back into child's pose and up into tabletop. So you're back into child's pose, walking the forearms back and the hands back. Back into child's pose. Arms can go straight ahead. Arms can go behind the back. Forearm to the ground. Forehead to the ground. These are options. Knees can be wider. If your hips don't touch your heels, you can use a pillow. They can just not touch. You. Come back to tabletop for me, and now we're rotating our arm up to the sky, reaching the palm towards the sky, and then thread the needle underneath the other side, elbow onto the mat, drop your shoulder down towards the mat as much as you can. If you can, get that side of the head onto the ground, onto the earth. The stretch you're going for is all under the shoulder blade and kind of through the serratus anterior. the muscles that wrap the rib cage and the middle of the shoulder blade. If you breathe and your rib cage, you can maybe feel the twist coming in a little bit on the low back as well. A few breaths there, then just go the direction. So unwind yourself, then reach the other arm to the sky, palms to the sun, then reach under. Elbow anchors itself just here behind, above the knee, behind the wrist. And then the shoulder of that same side comes to the mat, side of the forehead comes to the side of the mat. One side will feel more tense or wound than the other side, so spend an extra breath on that side. Let go of all of your breath if you'd like, or keep some in the tank. Holding your breath will only keep this from unwinding even more, keep yourself in a little bit of tension. So try your best to take really, really deep, full breaths and feel the entire cabin, the entire pressure of your internal space. And then go back to unwinded tabletop. We're doing a few wag the tails, so your shoulder comes to your hip, you're going side to side, wagging the tail. And a few undulating kind of snake motions where you're snaking the spine, rocking the pelvis. This is also cat-cow with a little bit of rocking of the body. We're gonna sit up in a kneeling position. We're almost done, I think. Go right to kneeling position. And what we'll do here is we'll come into a half lunge. So it doesn't have to be straight ahead. Your lunge can be pretty wide. Place this leg outside and just balance on one knee. And we're reaching up to the sky and back behind us, and then through our leg and reaching our palms down behind us, walking our hands behind us. So you're reaching up to the sky in this kind of wide lunge, then you reach through the space that your feet and knees create and reach the arms back behind you. The outer hip will get a stretch. Try to reach your shoulders and your chest towards the front. Bend that front knee. So you're kind of playing with this open hip formation, using your hands to balance, using your heart as a guiding to keep your spine straight. And just play in this place. Maybe even try straightening the leg and the toes, and then going back into a lunge position.
Come on, baby, let's go. I, you, she, together. Come on, baby, let's go.
When you've gotten to that side, go back to tabletop and bring your hips to your shoulders again, wagging the tail, resetting the hips. And then we'll set up on the other side with that lunge. The lunge is a wide lunge, so it's not quite here with the hips facing forward, but you have one foot really wide out to the side, top of the foot pressing down into the earth behind you. All the toes are spread wide on this front foot. You're reaching up high, so behind you, extending the back, and then reaching under and through the space that your legs make. Walking the hands, inching the fingertips back behind you. Reaching the chest forward. Dropping the shoulders back. And if you like, you can rock yourself left and right. Straighten the leg with the toes coming up, and then bend the knee. Exploring all this different kind of outer hip stretch, inner thigh stretch. And we're moving back to our tabletop. Wag your tail a few more times. We'll come to standing. However you find standing, it's up to you. I like to kind of rock back a little bit, stretch my toes, get my body used to a position change, sit up into a half kneeling, and then eventually rock myself onto my toes and drop my heels down and stand up by walking my hands up my thighs. Once I'm standing, I'm doing giant rainbow arms from mountain pose. Nice wide position, toes face a little bit forward, slightly out. Bend the knees, reach up nice and tall with these hands. And then rainbow arm down. If you want, you can fold forward slightly, give yourself a hug, chin to chest. The back body comes into stretch. You can straighten those knees out to get a little bit more down the back body, chin to chest more. Roll up nice and gently, old hugging yourself. Drop your arms down to the side, shake them out, shake your head, shake your jaw. Big rainbow arms one more time, reaching up very, very high across the arms. Then bring them down, fold forward, bend the knees a little bit, hug yourself. The other elbow over the top, if you remember which that was. Chin to chest, hold here. If you want, bring your chest down towards your thighs a little more, so really lean into that stretch. Chin to chest. Breathe deeply into the back body. Pull up nice and gently, stand up nice and tall. Bring those shoulder blades together, stretch the heart forward, expand the ribs and around the chest plate. And relax. Go ahead and shake everything out. Good job, y'all. Good job. We did it. Stretchy.
Good. Dang. 2 thumbs up to both of you.
To you too.
Thanks as always.
Yeah, it was really nice to see you. I wasn't here last week, so I don't know.
We had another party with Rocky. It was Rocky and I don't know if she pronounced the H in her name. It's spelled Johanna, but I don't know how she says
Johanna?
it. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I love her. And also I can just like, I think this goes for everybody. Sometimes a week off just does a huge thing, like I just feel like this is the best class ever. And sometimes it feels like harder, but today I just really wanted to be here. So
great. Well, thank you guys. And now that I know, Rocky, what you're up to, mazel tov to wedding number whatever you're on.
Thank you.
To hear all that by next week.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
All right. Good night, you guys.
Night.
Bye.